from somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to our Facebook Live and YouTube audience. My name is Erik Skarvan. I'm your host now for 17 years here on the local show. Again, across the GrassRoots Community Network broadband and platform. We are so happy to welcome a first-time guest to the show and her dog Floyd. It's Susie Kraybacher, founder and CEO of HaitiChildren. Welcome to the show, Susie.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I mean, we just talked for a few minutes before the show, and I think we're kindred spirits.
I believe so. We have so much in common.
We
right
both have dogs who have yellow eyes.
Yes.
And we both, we love food. We love to cook. So that's a good start.
Lots in common. We care about kids. In fact, just the past 2 weeks, I've mostly been taking kids mountain biking.
No kidding.
So my full-time business is Sundog Athletics.
Right.
We teach and guide adventure sports, mountain biking being our main summer activity, and was working with this great 10-year-old kid, Aaron, actually for almost 3 weeks, from first-timer to now, I'd say intermediate level, you know, like riding single track pretty proficiently.
Okay.
And I absolutely love kids. And I was a buddy 2 times in the Aspen Buddy program.
So you know what? When this COVID thing gets sorted out, we're bringing 7 of my children from Haiti here. They've never been on a bike.
Oh, that would be a
So
blast.
can you imagine?
I would love to work with them. That would be so fun. And to see them light up is what
gosh.
it's all about. And you might be able to relate to that. And we're going to talk so much about that, the
Right.
rewards, the challenges. But we want to go back just a couple years to where you were born and raised, because that just has such a huge impact on our lives.
It has had a huge impact on my life. I was born in Alabama,
Okay.
but I didn't have a very good childhood, which has greatly impacted why I'm doing what I'm doing. I was
Okay.
a foster kid myself,
Okay.
and I didn't get chosen. I kept getting switched from foster home to foster home, and I just felt, you know, these poor kids who don't get picked
Yeah.
because they're different.
Yeah.
You know, I was an older child. I was 12 when I went into foster care,
Okay.
and had a lot of, you know, issues because of abuse. So I realized very young that sometimes kids can be cherry-picked too.
Yeah.
So when I found my children in Haiti, I was like, you know, Joe's my husband, we can't let them not be picked yet again.
Right, right. History's not going to repeat that way.
Right.
And so that had a massive impact, obviously, on your life. And you would go on to, well, let's kind of go through the order of how did you land in Aspen? What's your Aspen story?
Well, that's a long story. I went from foster care. I eventually moved out of home, foster care, and went to LA on a shoestring and started modeling, and eventually ended up working for Playboy for about 10 years. I was centerfold cover girl, and you know that wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was the only thing that I knew that I could make money at that time, because I didn't have even a high school diploma.
Okay.
So I went through that, you know, the 10 years of working for Playboy, and came to Aspen with, unfortunately, America's most wanted guy. I didn't know that he had been, that he had 5 identities and
Whoa.
was married to another playmate who died mysteriously. Came to Aspen, married him, was married for a year, and Bob Browdis, you know, figured out who this guy was, and I just was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. He had married me under a false identity, so I needed a lawyer to get a divorce when he went to prison. I didn't have a dime to my name left. Everything I had, he had taken. I I went, I got a job in the West End as a maid and a cook for room and board. Walked down to Clark's Market every day to buy groceries and noticed that there was a legal firm right on the corner of Mill and Francis, and turned out that was my husband's law firm, my current husband's law firm. I went in and I said, look, I don't have any money. This is what happened to me, and it's tragic. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? I'm just devastated. I'm working as a maid and a cook right now. And he's like, I really want to help you. And within 4 weeks, we had realized that this guy was a criminal, and we ended up getting married. My divorce attorney and I ended up getting married. The best thing that ever happened to me. We've been married 31 years now.
Wow.
Parents to 119 children in Haiti. We've got 700 students, 25 dogs.
Well, wow. I mean, it's like your heart just has expanded so much. And one thing led to another thing, and some really beautiful things. And that's why I was smiling, because I knew once you said attorney, that was going to lead to your current marriage with Joe. So we got so much to get to. We're going to take a quick break, rehydrate, because we got to get to so much what's currently going on.
Oh yeah.
Down in Haiti.
Oh yeah.
And how your relationship from the Valley affects your organization down there, and then I'm sure you spend a lot of time down there as well. So we got so much to get to. So we're going to take a quick break. Susie, I do want to thank our amazing summer underwriters, Aspen Square, CMC Aspen, Klug Properties, Live Aspen Art, White River Overland, Pitkin County Landfill, and Sundog Athletics. We're going to go to a quick break, guys. We'll be right back with Susie Kraybacher, founder and CEO of HaitiChildren. We have so much to get to and so many ways you guys can get involved, so don't go away. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting and overland outfitting. Catering to mountain dwellers and outdoor enthusiasts, many of WRO's builds are purpose-driven to facilitate and enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. Nestled in the White River National Forest, close to the deserts of western Colorado and Utah, WRO also rents camper vans and accessories. More at whiteriveroverland.com. CMC is preparing the people who make Aspen work. CMC Aspen collaborates with the community, providing skilled workers, future leaders, and problem solvers, meeting our economy's needs, ensuring opportunity and workforce integrity for generations to come.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Live Aspen Art is a working studio at the base of Aspen Highlands. Come meet the artists and view both finished pieces and works in progress by owner Olivia Dane and visiting artists, or take private art classes offered for kids and adults. Olivia's recent works are also on view at Opera Gallery at the base of Aspen Mountain. For more information, contact Olivia at 970-379-2539 for an appointment, or visit liveaspenartgallery.com.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Thanks for sticking with us here on The Local Show, a show featuring inspirational locals each week on GrassRoots Community Network. We're joined by Susie and her doggy Floyd here on The Local Show couch. And I talked a little bit about your background, Susie, and how did you first get inspired for HaitiChildren, obviously you went down to Haiti and visited,
You
and
know,
then it evolved from there. Or how did that kind of play out?
I was running a little antique store here in Aspen for about 4 years, trying to help, bring in a little bit of income to help my husband before his, law practice took off. And I just was not passionate about it, and I really wasn't good at it. So, yeah.
Well, it's an honest assessment.
I knew that I was supposed to be doing something else. I just didn't remember a promise that I made when I was 8 years old to God. I was being it was during the time that I was being abused, and it was horrible abuse. And I just promised God that if you help me live through this, I will take care of other kids. I promise you. And I got put in foster care, which was for me the right thing, and it really helped me a lot. My little brother didn't get put in foster care, and he was being abused as well. He eventually killed himself. So when my antique store didn't work, Joe said, look, why don't you do what you've always wanted to do? You want to help kids, do that. And I'm like, absolutely, this is something that I know I can do. I understand what it feels like not to get picked and to be hurt so badly as a child. So I decided I was going to go to Mongolia, where at that time there was an epidemic of sewer children who were living in sewers because of the freezing cold, and it was warm in the sewers and they were eating rats. And I bought my ticket to go. But someone from my church said, I don't understand why you're going all the way to Mongolia when Haiti is in such need for what you're planning to do. And I'm like, well, I just want to see what I can do to maybe help, sponsor a few kids. That was the biggest dream, is, I'd sponsor a few kids, maybe bring some, used clothes or something. So it was a very simple plan, but I traded my ticket from Mongolia to Haiti, got on a plane, went to Haiti. The first night that I got there, I got into a car that was supposedly a cab, but it wasn't. And I said, look, I want to go and see the poorest area of Haiti, and I want to, figure out how I can help. He took me to Cité Soleil. That is one of the hottest, worst, most dangerous slums in the world. He got frightened and left me there. I told him to wait. He left me there. I had a fanny pack and some wedge heels on and a dress. I was stuck there overnight. I slept with a family in a lean-to, 17 of them. Whoa. I shared my water with them, and I got bit in the face by a rat.
Oh my gosh.
I was absolutely, but something inside of me was like, but this is where I think I'm supposed to be. Out of that experience, I saw what changed my life. The next morning, I woke up. These people were awake, before the sun was up, and they were all like a mass exodus leaving the slum to go and try to find food. Just in garbage piles, which Cité Soleil is built in a garbage pile, and I was hungry and thirsty, and I just thought to myself, we live in the richest country, in the richest city in the world. I can do something about this for sure. Even if I have to go and sell my furniture, we can do something about this. So I realized, I did the math, and I realized, I had been in Haiti 2 weeks by now, that for $1,200 a month, I could feed 100 people easily. Wow. So I called Joe, I told a fib. I regret it now, but he knows. I told him I lost my passport, which I really didn't, but I knew he wouldn't want me to stay unless I had to. So I needed a month. You know, I just felt like if I could stay here a month, I can find some people to help me when I go back to the U.S. to raise money. I can find a few employees. Well, after a month, we had set up a feeding program. I had worked out arrangements with the gang members that we would let their children be the first to be fed if they wouldn't bother us, and it just came together.
Amazing.
It just came together. And yes, I was, I can't tell you how many times I've had guns pulled on me, machetes pulled on me, and been threatened with rape, but never ever once have I gotten a single scar. I've been able, being a foster kid and a street kid, I've developed ways to talk through it and make it work. And that doesn't mean it's not going to happen someday, but I feel that this is my purpose and that I have protection, from there.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that's incredible street smarts, and that's like in like a third world situation. So out of your element, like you say, you come from Aspen,
Yeah.
with all this affluence, and then you go to a place with affluence, with just people living in such unbelievably bad conditions. I mean, violence. I mean, you could have lost your life. You were living in a very high risk situation at that point, but you were still able to manage to put the pieces together, including working with these gangs, which is unbelievable, and then put this organization together. And HaitiChildren, what's the age range that you guys accommodate and take care of?
Well, so we started in 1994. We heard of the government hospital where most abandoned children who have special needs or, have afflictions are dumped.
Okay.
So I went there after I heard about this to see if it was true. And lo and behold, right in front of the morgue, there was a room that there were 17 children in that room at the time. No windows, and some of them on the floor, some of them in iron metal cribs without a mattress. Some of them had sores that had actually grown onto the cribs. It was as if nobody had touched them for weeks or months. Two had passed away, and nobody had collected their bodies. So I started going every day with food and diapers and formula and medicines, and slowly the kids started responding. I mean, these kids had been left alone for so long in the dark that they had no reaction. They didn't respond. I couldn't get them to eat. So I did this for 6 months. I just kept going and kept going. We lost a few. But after 6 months, there had been 57 total who had been abandoned in this dump of a room. And I went to the hospital administration and I said, would you please just give me one room in this hospital? I'll hire the staff. I'll, buy the beds. I'll, buy the food. Just, we need a place for these kids to survive. So they gave me a room, 15 by 30 square feet for 57 children.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
It was we were there for 14 years. It was I can't tell you what that was like to keep these kids living and to try to get their paperwork processed so that they could legally leave that hospital and come to live with us. Joe and I eventually put a second mortgage on our house on Main Street at the time and bought a home for the 57, but the government wouldn't release them all at once. It took some of them 4 years to get them released because these kids don't have any paperwork. They have no identity.
Right.
To get a birth certificate, to get an identity, you have to go through all the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And if you just take them, then you're a child trafficker. You can't do it.
Right, so you have to be very, very patient through that process and that bureaucracy,
Yeah.
and then ultimately the kids land in this house that you guys bought.
It was like I wrote a story in my book that, you know, when we were all finally there, when I got the last one out, it was like the biggest celebration. These kids were, but then again, you know, they're kids, so you have to like also discipline them and make them mind you, and you know, I had help. But I'll never forget one morning I woke up and the rule was you sit on your potty until you go, because I had 57 toddlers and they needed to sit on the potty until they go so we could train them, and it would be less money in diapers. So I'll never forget one morning I woke up and I hear this thunderous noise above my little apartment in the house, and I ran upstairs and I'm looking at one of the house mothers and she's like this, and I look down the hallway and there's all these kids scooting on their potty chairs down the hall because they weren't supposed to get up,
Oh, no.
but they were still going to be mobile, you know.
Oh my gosh, so they found a good compromise.
They did. They did. So, you know, it's like now after the earthquake, that building fell, and we had moved all the kids out of that building for repairs into our school, so no one was hurt. We did lose some employees, but now we have an 18-acre huge village with a farm that has 1,000 chickens. Yesterday I think we counted 48 goats and about 30 turkeys. We have a honeybee farm. We make our own honey. We have 3 huge greenhouses where we grow a lot of our vegetables. But the biggest thing that I'm the most proud of is those kids, even though most of them, or at least half of them, came to us either terminally ill or disabled, we were able to build a therapy center.
Wow.
And years and years and years of therapy and bracing, and we have a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a speech therapist, a social worker. So the kids are they're letting go of the pain that they came in with. And they're becoming, you know, we have music teachers and art teachers, and it's just a village of hope.
We're already down to just 3 minutes, Susie.
What?
I know, it's crazy, but we do have a video that shows on the ground what you guys are doing. Can you just give us a brief intro to the video?
So these kids, every one of them were abandoned, and this video is pictures of the precious angels that we're raising and their progress and their smiles and, you know, their laughter. It's kind of where we've come to this point in our lives together.
Well, let's take a look at that and we'll be right back. It just must be so heartwarming, to say the least, you know, to see these kids, you know, progress and learn and grow and light up when they learn things. And you've actually captured some of these moments and some of these rewards. And Angels of a Lower Flight, which is now going to be a Broadway or off-Broadway musical?
It's a musical in development, and the star of Wicked on Broadway is actually recording some of the songs from the musical. So
amazing.
I've heard most of the songs, and it's epic to me. It's hard to even fathom that this could, you know, be a possibility, but it would be amazing to be able to, you know, help fund this organization, because it's always a financial challenge. Speaking of which, where can we send people to kind of find out more and support, you know, HaitiChildren, which is just such an amazing cause? Follow us on Twitter, and HaitiChildren.org is the website. We have Facebook, but HaitiChildren.org is where you get all the information. And this community has been so wonderful. So thank you.
The Aspen community and the Roaring Fork Valley,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure. So did you have fun in the show today? Did
so
Floyd
much
have fun? He fled.
Floyd fled.
He's not one of those Range Rover refugees, is he, that we're talking about this summer?
No. Floyd, he's just...
Come here, Floyd. He's checking out the situation. He smells our buddy station mascot Poncho.
That's probably what it is.
I baked you some
Did you really make me
cookies.
cookies? I can't
Yeah.
believe you did that.
Did you have fun in the show today?
I had so much fun.
We're gonna have you back.
I'll come back anytime.
With some of the kids next time. Does that sound good?
We got 7 of the kids coming, so after COVID, of course, but yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
I really
so
had a
much,
blast.
Susie. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for all you do.
Thank
And you
you.
too, Floyd. And thank you guys above all for watching The Local Show. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting and overland outfitting. Catering to mountain dwellers and outdoor enthusiasts, many of WRO's builds are purpose-driven to facilitate and enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. Nestled in the White River National Forest, close to the deserts of western Colorado and Utah, WRO also rents camper vans and accessories. More at whiteriveroverland.com.
Celebrating another great summer season by offering up to 25% off their nightly rates. Aspen Square Hotel is the hospitality place featuring fireplace studio suites and larger condominiums with full hotel-style services in the center of downtown Aspen. Aspen Square is proud to support The Locals Show. Sundog Athletics, Aspen's Adventure Sports School, is your opportunity to experience one-of-a-kind guided adventures and gain new skills to experience the thrills of mountain and road biking, fitness hiking, and Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure. They can be reached at 970-925-1069, and fresh updates can be found at Sundog Athletics on Facebook or sundogathletics.com.
Welcome to